All right, once the Wild Blood patch number 1 was live on the live servers, patch number 2 was actually updated in the test server almost immediately, actually. And we're going to look at the patch number 2. There is big news, huge nerfs coming to the awakened weapons, and we are going to talk about it. All right, the first change is this. This is a huge one. Okay, so the awakened items scaling changes. For this current patch in Hellgates and Corrupted Dungeons, all of your traits for the awakened item is in full effect. So let me show you the awakened item that I used. So this one's the Hellspawn Staff. If I bring this inside a Corrupted Dungeon or a Hellgate, I will get that 257 max health. I will get that 1% ability damage. I also used it for this, right? The 6.4 Fire Staff is the same max health, ability damage. I will get that 100% inside a gate, inside a Corrupted Dungeon. But for this patch, they are changing that, and they're changing that drastically. For 2v2 Hellgates, it's going to be 20%. For 5v5 and 10v10 Hellgates, it's going to be 35%. For Stalker Corrupted Dungeons, it's going to be 20%. And for Slayer Corrupted Dungeons, it's going to be 50%. So what does that mean? So let's take this as an example. Again, we have 300. Let's just call that 300 max health. If I bring this to a Slayer Corrupted Dungeons, it will only give me plus 150. That's just the 50% of 300. But if I bring this to a Stalker Corrupted Dungeon, this is going to give me about 60 health, plus 60, so only 20%. Now, plus 60 health is basically negligible in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons or in any content for that matter. And I have used about 12 mil for this specific item. I used 12 mil for this item, all right? And I'm only getting 60%, 60 health. That is not worth it. In my opinion, this is basically going to kill awakened weapons in instance content. It's only going to be really viable and going to be useful in the open world. And outside of that, it's not even going to be worth it. The IP scaling and the trait scaling is going to be in full effect for instance content. And you will see a lot of players not awakening weapons. I think this is going to slow down the production of awakened weapons because you're no longer getting that big boosts from your 4.4s, your 5.4s in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons specifically, and in 2v2 Hellgates as well. You're no longer going to get that same benefit, and it doesn't really make sense for you to keep on using millions and millions and millions of silver, getting those awakened items, getting those traits, getting those perfect rolls. If you're going to use it in instance content, it is still going to be viable for open world, but it's pretty much dead in Corrupted Dungeons and in Hellgates. That is a huge, huge nerf for awakened items, and it's almost dead. So 1 month after the patch, it's almost dead. There are a bunch of balance changes as well for patch number 2, and let's see if they can actually change the meta in the game. And let's just walk through some of the changes and some of the explanations as well for these combat balance changes. First off is the Curse Staff. Enfeebled Blades are suspected to cause performance issues, okay? When used in large-scale fights, removing the damage reflection can potentially mitigate the issue, and since the damage itself is not that high, that change shouldn't impact the gameplay that much, but potentially improves large-scale fight performances. So, this basically is a non-change, I would say. Life Curse Staff can no longer be reflected. But again, as they said, the damage isn't really that much, so it's a minor change. For the daggers, Assassin Spirits has gone unchanged and underused for a long time. Tell that to Paul. But we are reducing the charge interval, reducing the vulnerable time, and making the spell easier to use. So they are buffing the daggers, specifically the Assassin Spirit. This is the one that charges. So it charges now from 3 seconds to 2.5 seconds. So you do lose 1.5 seconds overall for the 3 stack. That's a good change. We have seen this been used by Gorgeous Ball in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons with great effectiveness. This is going to buff his build, and hopefully we see more daggers using Assassin Spirits. Okay, for the Frost Staff, Hail is getting overshadowed by other available Frost Staffs. We are increasing the damage output to compete better against alternatives. I have a bone to pick with SBI with this. Great Frost last year, I specifically remember this last year, was powerful. All right? It was powerful along with the Frost Beam Mercenary Jacket change. It was actually one of the best or new meta that was introduced last year. And they basically nerfed it after 2 weeks. And then tried to buff it incrementally to no avail. Great Frost Staff, when it was balanced, when it was reworked actually, was a great option for Stalker Corrupted Dungeons and even Slayer. But they nerfed it completely. And now they're trying to bring it back up. The Frost Staffs are going to get a buff, specifically the Great Frost Staff. I am excited to give this another shot because the Great Frost Staff is definitely underrated. I would love to see a new build for a Great Frost Staff, and we'll make it work. The Shapeshifter Staff. Our Distortion is the baseline damage spells for Shapeshifters, which on its own enables a very high damage output in human form. Therefore, we reduce the damage to limit the damage potential from human form. We expect this to affect all damage Shapeshifter builds. Adapting Matter is too weak as well in supportive ability, so we are increasing the strengths of the shield and the max ally count for better usability in groups. Okay, and the Runestone Golem as well can feel quite oppressive and hard to counter due to its long uptime. That is so true. To combat this, we are reducing the transformation duration and increasing the speed of the shift charge consumption. Okay, so for the Adapting Matter, for all Shapeshifter staffs, max allies now up to 5, and it increases the shield from 140 to 150 base. That's good. Distortion on all the Shapeshifter staffs. If you don't know what Distortion is, yeah, it's the W1 ability, which is the puddle of the Shapeshifter staff. The damage per tick now gets reduced from 80 to 70. So a little bit of a nerf there, a little bit of a buff for Adapting Matter. For the Runestone Golem, the transformation duration reduced by 2 seconds. And the giant consumption, shift charge consumption from 3.5 seconds to 3 seconds. So that is the passive. All right, so you are going to consume more charge per second now. It's a good balance, I would say. They're trying to balance the Golem and the human form now after nerfing the Prowling Staff and the Eagle. So just a continuation of the refinement of the skills and the damages for the Shapeshifter staffs. And you like to see this. You like to see these overpowered staffs in the beginning and then getting nerfed eventually, trickling down to a more balanced weapons along with the other items available in the game. So this is a good change. For the armor, okay, this is very controversial. Very, very, very controversial because you have seen a lot of bomb squads using Assassin Jacket. They would use invisibility potions after using maybe like a Wanderlust. All right. Go to the target, pop Assassin Jacket. So you're invis, and then pop another invis. You're still invis, getting more charges, right? Getting more stacks on the damage, and then bombing a group. That has been a very popular strategy for a lot of players, and it is basically going to be non-existent anymore. It's going to be more difficult to pull it off because the hit delay of the ambush means from 0 to 0.2, meaning you will have a 0.2 seconds visibility. So if you use invisibility potion, you pop your ambush on your assassin jacket, there will be a time, a 0.2 second time where you are going to be visible. And that is going to be more than enough for your opponents to notice you and like get out of the way. So bombing videos are going to be less and less popular after this patch. It's not an update or a change that a lot of people are actually looking forward to. I have seen a lot of players just complain about how they're killing a part of the game, which I agree. I agree that they're killing a part of the game. It's always fun and it's always entertaining to watch those skills, and they're taking it away from us. They're taking it away from us in favor of a more fair fight, more fair fight, I would say, because you cannot bomb anymore. They are encouraging players to just fight in the open world like normally, I would say. But yeah, and another for all plate armors, the threat gen has been increased for protective instinct, and that's it. All right, some fixes here. Okay, so this is actually a thing that I wish they had fixed 3 years ago. You know those times where you get CC'd and you use a skill shot and it just goes the opposite direction? It goes to the direction where you are CC'd, which it doesn't make sense. Even if you cast it in the other direction, if you get CC'd the other way, your skill shot is going to go where the CC direction is. So they're finally fixing this. This has been a thing that I've complained about for years. So thankfully they are changing it. So you no longer will cast those skill shots in the wrong direction. That is it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and let's discuss things. So, okay change, I would say. More of a balancing, refining of the content that we have currently. It's not going to change the meta in any way, shape, or form. The awakened item scaling is just nasty for everyone who has just been abusing the system. You have a couple more weeks to abuse it, but after that, that's it.